What up everybody, I am Lucifer. I'm just an amateur guitar builder here on YouTube. Just looking to make it into the big times, you know, grow into my sweet ass YouTube channel name that Ben Crow seems to like a lot. Well anyway, welcome to the channel, welcome to my shop. So I've been working on this telly here for my buddy until I came across a massive issue, which we are going to address in this video. So, I laminated up this neck blank here. It is constructed from Padauk and then a black poplar veneer, an aspen veneer, back to black poplar veneer, and then a strip of maple, and then black, aspen, black, Padauk, and the pattern just continues across. So I glued this neck up, I laminated it together, and it was all mint. It looked great, I cleaned it up, I was very happy with it. And then, I left it for a day or two, or, yeah, probably a day or two, until I cut my headstock neck break angle into it, which was all good, and then that's all I really did for that day. And I left it, and I came in the next day, and to my disappointment, this is what I got. On this side of the ply here, we have delamination. It was never there until I cut my headstock break angle in, and then left it, and then the next day I came and it delaminated on me. And it is way, way, way worse at the back. But if it's this bad and continues to split, there's no way this neck's gonna stay together. I have to address this. So I got some options here. Option number one. Say fuck it, I don't want to build guitars anymore and start making reaction videos. Yo, what up? It's your boy Lucifer back with another fire reaction video. You know us reactors do. We just take other people's like hard work, their art that they put all their talent and dedication into, and we just be talking over it with our own uneducated, talentless opinion, just piggybacking off all these masks, getting views, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Option number two. Whip the delamination with black Starbond like a scumbag and just keep building it and then give my buddy his guitar that I don't trust. Like, I trust my buddy, he's my best friend. I don't trust this joint with black Starbond in it. Or option three, I fix it. I'm really gonna have to think about this one. So before we go about fixing this guitar, we have to determine how this happened. And I have some diagnoses. So, suspicion number one. This maple, these quarter-inch accent strips that I used. It was just a piece of 1x6 maple that I bought from Home Depot. And I brought it home that day, resawed it up, planed it, and glued it. It may have been too wet, or I just didn't let it climatize to the shop long enough before I glued it because I was impatient and just wanted to work on this guitar. Suspicion number two. The Gorilla Glue that I used to laminate the other half of this neck. If you saw the episode where I do laminate this neck, I ran out of glue halfway through, so I had another bottle kicking around. It still looked like glue, like inside, but it had been left out in the sun for I don't know how long. It was outside, but it still looked good, so I used it because I was impatient and just wanted to get this guitar going. And it may have been bad. It may have spoiled or just lost its adhesive qualities. I don't know, but that could be a factor on why this happened. Suspicion number 3. The Padauk that I used may have been too wet. I'm kind of doubting this because I bought this wood from a trusted supplier that properly kiln dries their material, and then the piece I had down here, it was actually climatizing to my shop for over 2 months before I started cutting into it. But I never metered it off the start. I didn't have a moisture meter at the time. I've never run into this problem, but it could be. So we'll get to the bottom of this. And suspicion number 4 that I have. I've never worked with veneer in a neck before. Like, I don't think the veneer was too wet. I'm pretty sure you could fart on a veneer and dry it. But I think I may have neglected the proper prep work that goes into using veneers, laminating veneers in a neck, how I've done. So we're gonna look into this right now. Alrighty, so let's get into suspicion number 1 of this maple being too wet. So I have the other half of this 1x6 by 3/4 inch maple piece that I just got from Home Depot, and I'm gonna test it with this. This is the Orion 930 moisture meter by Wagner. I did all my research trying to find cheaper meters or whatever, and I kept coming up with these. So I just bought this one. It's not the 950 because I don't have $1,000 to spend on a meter. And I also don't have a phone, so I don't need the Bluetooth nonsense that it has. This offers everything else that the 950 does. So let's see what she says here. So I just gotta turn her on, go into the species category, and flip through the book to the species setting. And we are at 0.49. So 0.49 content for maple. I called Home Depot to make sure that this is soft maple that they do stock, and we came to the conclusion that maple is a hardwood. But I'm pretty sure that this is soft maple. Like, I'm fairly confident this is soft maple, but let's see what this thing says. So I'm on the deep penetrating mode, and let's test her out, see what she says here. Alright, 12.8, so it is high. That's sad. That's really sad. Let's just test along the piece. Thirteen, 12.8, and 13.3. Alright, so this piece was definitely too wet to work with, but I don't know if that's enough moisture, like, coming out of it to cause that, if it would come out that quick. I don't think so. Like, it's not absolutely saturated, but it is too wet to work with for a guitar neck. So that could very well be what happened, but I don't think so. Alright, so now I got the settings on the meter switched to the Padauk settings. We'll see if it was the Padauk maybe being too wet. 7.3, beautiful. Alright, 7.8. That's actually 8. 8.1. 7.7. Alright, the Padauk's mint. The Padauk's really good. Alright, let's just test the body here, the pieces I have. That's 7%. 7.3. 7.5. 7.4. And 7.2. Alright, so I don't think it's the Padauk at all. It might be the difference between the maple and Padauk at the same time against each other being a difference, but I don't know. I don't think so. But that's it for our moisture testing. So the maple's wet, the Padauk's dry. Well, good to know. So I guess we're just gonna go about rebuilding it. This really sucks, but I got my neck blank, super glue and masking tape down to this maple block, which is maple plank, which is perfectly straight, so it'll be a good guide to cut this taper off on. Let's just do it. Well, there's no turning back and black star bonding this now. She's a ripped. That's kind of a cool pattern when you cut through veneers like that. But I don't see any sign of delamination or glue problems in this half. But this wasn't the part that's actually delaminating. This half is. But still, I'm going to take the moisture meter and just check this maple on the 1/4 inch step setting and see what she says. I don't know, not reusing it, but since we're here and I got that meter, let's do it. Alright, let's test this. 28.2%? What? How? Alright, 21%. Move it onto the veneer here. 32%? Oh no! 32%? So I wasn't expecting that. I don't know if maybe the glue or whatever, it's reading through like a little bit past. Because I got it on the 1/4 inch setting, so it's reading a 1/4 inch in, but it might be catching the veneers or the next layer of glue, but I can't believe it's that high. I gotta figure out if I could test veneers with this. Now maybe I'm thinking you can't just fart on veneers. That's wild. I'm gonna recalibrate the meter and try this again, actually. Alrighty, now on to one of my hunches. Blaming the glue. Seems like a real amateur move to blame the glue. But it was a factor. Anyway, I got this offcut piece. I do want this Padauk. I need this piece of Padauk. I don't have another one, and it's cut out of the same piece, and it's dry mint, so out of the same piece and in the same neck, that's ideal. But it's super thick. I have room to frig around here. Quite a lot of room to frig around here, but still, I don't want to run out of frigging around real estate. So anyway, I'm going to stick a chisel in this D-lam before I bandsaw this off and see if I could actually get the glue to separate and get it away. If once I get like good leverage on it and I can pull it away and it pulls away, it was the glue. I don't think it's the glue. I'm thinking I frigged up the prep work on the veneer, but we're going through this whole thing, figuring this shit out. Let's do it. So anyway, I'm going to be using this chisel. She's ground super shallow. I don't know the exact angle, because I just basically went to the belt sander and held it so I had at least a ½ inch of my knuckles away from the belt, and that was the angle I got. Alright, let's try to get this apart. So it is actually separating a lot easier than I thought it would be. I don't know if it is the glue or not. It seems like the black's peeling away from the white pretty clean. But, which will indicate maybe glue, but also if I didn't treat the one side good enough, the glue's all adhered to the other side and didn't want to stick to the black. It's the black that's a problem. So I have a delamination on the Purdue side, and then I have a delamination, it skips over and delaminates from the Aspen, and then it skips over back to the Purdue. So I'm thinking I didn't do the veneers properly, but I'm gonna just keep trying to get this apart, and then once I get good enough leverage and I can pull it without it like splintering or whatever, it's just a straight seam, then I know that glue's not very good. We got her opened, and it's actually a fairly clean rip. But it's the black. I'm thinking it's the black veneer, the stain on it. I don't want to wreck my Purdue here. So it's not exactly easy to rip away. Like, I'm feeling it's gonna tear out or whatever, but I got it to split. So I had to have frigged up the veneers. But I really want to see inside. Like, once I get these two surfaces separated, I want to see. I'll get a better idea. So you can maybe see in here. Here, let me fiddle with this a little bit. That it is separating with not very much effort. Obviously, I'm using a hammer to get the chisel in here, but every time I pound the chisel in, it splits easily back pretty far. You could see the glue there. That section there was actually totally closed till I drove the chisel into it. So you could see that the glue is pulling away. This is separating pretty easy for me. I'm just going to go up the entire neck and try to get this section off with the chisel. Glue or veneer? I don't think it was the maple moving too much. 'Cause I metered that piece, and now that's going on over a week of me metering it, and it stayed the same. So I'm assuming this side that hasn't delaminated has stayed the same. This is the half of the neck that I used the bad glue on. And I think I just got lucky with the veneers on this side. They might have been cleaned up good enough or whatever, or the good glue adhered. I think it's might be a combination of the bad glue and improper veneering. Alright, I'm just gonna keep trying to get this off. Every time I go in with the chisel next section, it peels away 2.5 inches, and it's just easily taking the glue off. It seems like the glue's actually adhered to both sides. It's not just sticking to one side, that's what it looks like, but I'm gonna get this the rest of the way off and we'll assess the inside. So I have it split the whole way, and this bottom side, so this was the bottom side that was way worse than the top delam, and that actually came apart really good, but only about 2 inches down, maybe 1.5 inches. Basically dead center, it's still adhered. I don't know if you can see that, because the wood start to split. So I really don't know here. I'm going to try to bang it off from the other side, but I don't want to be damaging the product too much because we seem to have good adhesion. I might just end up running it through the bandsaw. Just cut her center down here and see if we could see any signs looking right into it of the glue being bad or how the veneer's sticking. Because I only have about maybe a little more of an 1/8 gap to look into right now, and it's black veneer, so it's a dark crevice, so I'm not 100% sure. Alright. Seeming to have good adhesion on like either side of the veneer, so one side of the veneer will give away, the other side will give, so the glue's probably alright. But it is coming apart. It is. Alrighty, so we're to a point where it is stuck really good to the product, and I don't want to rip past any portions that I still need. So I'm going to have to stop prying this here. I'm going to cut this part off flat so that we could look inside, but the rest has got to get bandsawed off because I can't waste this product. I need it. Damn it, I'm way too OCD for this. So goddamn unnecessary. Friggin' square. God damn it. Alright, I'll use a square. Fine. Spilled me beer! Alright, so what we're looking at here is the ginger cow. Alright, it's pretty friggin' sweet actually if I was trying to do something like this on purpose. Coming out really cool, but let's take a look. So you can see here, we're in these Padauk sections. The glue really didn't take it all, except for this chunk that I ripped out, but I still think I have room. Seems to be glued on that side. That wasn't glued on either side. Here's a chunk of it. So the glue's just kind of bubbling on the outside. You see it hasn't quite penetrated into the veneer, which is telling me that it's not sticking to the black stain, which I didn't sand off. But then also, it didn't stick to that other side of the Padauk that it was on. Like, that didn't stick at all. That didn't stick. What about this? Alright, so it's stuck to that. Let's use old Sharpie here. Alrighty, so after my pretty thorough investigation, if you ask me, I've come to the conclusion that I used too much clamping pressure, that's it. Alright, no, I'm just kidding. So, I got a second opinion. I headed over on Sunday to the Crimson live stream, which is on the Extras channel now, and I asked Ben Crow, the man himself, what his thoughts were. And he told me he had a neck delaminate because he didn't sand off the stain from veneers once. So, it's probably that. With maybe a combination of, like, this section here or whatever, where there's no glue adhesion, there's no glue at all. It could have been bad glue, or I could have actually used too much clamping pressure and squoze it all out. Or the remainder that was still in there was not very good, because it wasn't very good. I don't have the bottle to show you how thrashed it was. But yeah, it definitely wasn't good. But I'm thinking, definitely didn't sand the veneers. So when I go and fix this, I'm definitely going to be doing that. I got Tight Bond too, which is actually seems like a more liquidy glue than Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue is pretty thick actually. This seems like it'll penetrate better into the veneer, just judging by how this is just like building on the surface, but that's also because probably the stain. But either way, I'm covering my ass from all angles from what I've learned from this. So we got some Tight Bond, we got some real glue. And I'm going to use slightly less clamping pressure, I think. That could have been a problem. I've never had that problem before. I've always just clamped the deck out of everything and it holds. But I've never worked with veneers, so that's my diagnoses. If you have an opinion or have had experiences yourself, let me know in the comments. It's great learning for all of us, to be honest. Sucks this happened, but it's cool that it happened because now I know. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Episode 3 of this build will be going live in hopefully the next 2 weeks. I just got to get this neck back together, and then I'm waiting on my router base from StuMax so I could do the inlays. So I'm still waiting on that, but I'm really hoping to get the next episode up within the next 2 weeks. That'd be really cool. If you want to see the rest of this build, subscribe to the channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. Leave me a like, and I love reading all the comments, so if you just leave a little comment too, it really makes my day. Alright, thanks a lot. Keep on building. And hopefully shit like this don't happen to you. Thank you.